Okay everyone, today's review will be Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, and here's my review. After a few millenniums in sealed dormant, traditional Japanese ghosts are back with a vengeance, and it's up to the descendants of an elite group of ninjas, known as the Kakurangers, to stop their mischief. And for the word Kakure, it's a play on the word to hide or to conceal oneself. Our heroes consist of our leader, Tsuruhime, Ninja White. Next we have Sasuke, Ninja Red, the heart and soul of the team. Then we also have Ninja Yellow Seikai, the wannabe skirt chaser and pigs out like crazy. And we also got Ninja Blue Raizo, and then we have the motherfucking man himself, Jiraiya, Ninja Black, the cowboy ninja surfer. Or cowboy surfer ninja, or ninja surfing cowboy, whichever description you wish to use. Guided by the spirits of their ancestors, they have an idea on how to use their skills and their mix to the most elite level. Even though the gimmick of Kakurangers is ninja, of course don't expect anything to the level of, let's say, Ninja Assassin. The focus of this installment is more reliant on comedy as opposed to seriousness of its predecessor, Dairanger, though the series does get more serious in the second half. The monsters are influenced by traditional Japanese ghosts and are given a 1990s edge, and they love to party like it's the 1990s in which this series was broadcasted. Hell, one of their leaders puts on a rock concert that should put Kiss's live shows to shame. As I said, there are serious moments, but the nature of the show is the spirit of, let's say, having a good time, and that's what the humor to me is all about. The character that I think defines the show is Jiraiya, who's played by Mr. Ninja Warrior himself, Kane Kosugi, and this was his breakout role in the Japanese entertainment world. To some perverse degree, his cowboy surfer persona is meant to be a stereotype of Americans, and it's just fun to hear him use English in that thick California accent while rollerblading in a cowboy getup. I felt his personality fits and defines the comedy and the, I don't know if this is the right description to use, but the 1990s-ness of this show. And the rest of the characters, they are likable, but my problem is with Tsuruhime. She is the first ever Sentai female to be a leader, but I felt she kind of lacked the leadership qualities to be taken seriously as one. For one thing, she's the youngest member, and I felt she couldn't have the authority or charisma to handle men older than her. Plus, Sasuke got more screen time and is given more heroic moments, and is given, more of this bigger role, mostly because he's the Red Ranger, and he's given those qualities out of tradition. Plus, he shows more ninja intuition than Tsuruhime. And in some ways that is kind of a bad thing and a good thing, just like the the reasons I explained. For one thing, Tsuruhime is supposed to be the leader, but on the other hand, he's the Red Ranger. But anyway, the remaining two characters, Raizo and Seikai, are just plain old goose, but hey, like I said, humor is the nature of the show, and it's funny that some episodes, exploit their personal flaws. The characters do get some development, but not to the extent that you see in Dairanger or Jetman. This time the cast doesn't get a Sixth Ranger, but a supporting character with Ninja Man, who you remember as Ninjor from Power Rangers. Unfortunately, he isn't as wise as Ninjor. Try to imagine a character in which he rushes into a fight without thinking, but, he does have the best of intentions, and that's what you get with him. I felt his contribution to the show had more realistic and relatable qualities in comparison to Ninjor's for reasons I really feel that I can't explain due to spoilers. Despite the humor, the head honchos are pretty much imposing as villains. They can kick total ass and are more willing to take charge on the front lines. All I can say is story-wise, there is a plot to follow, but it's nothing really that serious, but the show still has a clean-cut direction with where it wants to go, and it's the journey to that ending that really matters, and I must say, it's one hell of a ride, in a fun way, but I'm someone who prefers a more serious story with, very strong characters. I do like humor for a Sentai series, but I personally feel it shouldn't be the focus at times. And even though I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, I'm currently trying to watch Car Ranger, but I'm having trouble getting into it because of the humor, but a lot of people do give it praise. But back to Kakuranger. I still enjoy the series for a 7.25 out of 10 for story and characters. Next, Kane Kosugi's background in martial arts and his immense talent just brings a distinct kind of quality in the choreography that is just too cool for Sunday morning television. It'd be too much praise to compare it to Jackie Chan, but Kosugi's skills are just masterfully cinematic with his form and intensity. Of all Sentai, actors not wearing the suits, he's probably the most talented martial artist ever, unless any of you guys beg to differ. The mechs in the series are once again spiritual animals, and the piloting is more of a mental and spiritual link as opposed to mechanical. Because of this approach, the mechs, especially when they're not combined, specifically the Muteki Shogun, when separated, give a distinct kind of agility and speed with the movement. Also, the mechs are also respectfully sentient, so it brings its own twist. In case you wanted to know, Titanus, which was used in Power Rangers, to combine with those mechs, was not at all used in the series. What you saw as a special effect in Power Rangers was the toy! But I felt there was too many mechs used in this series, but what made this series unique is that it is the first Sentai series to have, two combination mechs. One being separate, human-esque mechs, and the other representing the spiritual animals that both have their own distinctions. So I'll leave the action a 9 out of 10. The music is pretty cool itself and is good enough to for its action and comedy, for its atmosphere altogether. The opening theme, especially the hook, captures the ninja mystique, and the traditional percussions and acoustics with the rest of the song brings, cultural elements to the show. The ending song is just pretty weird and funny, but not as weird as the ending themes to Zyuranger or Abaranger. And there is one song that I really like that was sung by the son of the main villain when he puts on his concert. At least his song isn't as whacked as Bandora's. It's a pretty sweet rock song in which he talks about destroying the Kakurangers, and I found that moment to be pretty priceless. So I'll leave this part of the review at an 8.25 out of 10. Well, all I can say is, I do like humor, as I said before, but usually for me, when I switch from one Sentai series to the next, I do have certain expectations, based on the predecessing series, but hey, I'm only human hoping to see a good series as good as Dairanger or Jetman. Is Kakuranger as good as Dairanger or Jetman? Obviously, you can conclude that, I don't feel that way. But Kakuranger, for what it does, delivers pretty well. And I felt a large part of that is due to Kane Kosugi's presence. Maybe being an American myself, I finally have a character to relate to, in this, Sentai series, not, of course, Power Rangers. And I like how American stereotypes are portrayed, but, of course, this is through a man of Japanese descent. Eventually, Super Sentai will revisit the ninja gimmick again through Hurricane Ranger, which will be another review for another time. But I can go on, but if you want to see Kakuranger, give it a try. I leave this show with an overall score of a 7.8 out of 10. Thank you.